Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh, wait, there she is. All right. She has a point. Maybe I am obsessed, but some people are obsessed with Bigfoot, and they don't get to see him on TV every afternoon. And if they did, could they tell the two apart? I don't know.
What unfolded on screen was pure chaos, but the unforgettable kind. Joy Behar clearly thought she was steering the ship, calm and confident, until Gutfeld and Tyrus flipped the entire situation upside down. Greg came in firing jokes so sharp they felt dangerous, while Tyrus stayed cool and unbothered, delivering short lines that hit like a sledgehammer. As Joy struggled to keep her composure, the moment spiraled into a spectacular on-air meltdown. It wasn't just comedy. It was a roast colliding headfirst with a reality check breakdown.
It's not even that. In The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly...
Joy Behar sat front and center like the set belonged to her, fully settled into her TV throne. She carried herself like nothing, and no one could throw her off balance. Then Greg and Tyrus entered the picture, armed with sharp humor and an unshakable calm she clearly wasn't prepared for. Within seconds, that untouchable aura cracked. You could see it on her face, the realization that control was slipping away, live on camera, with nowhere to hide.
Joy Behar accused Elon Musk of being pro-apartheid, but then begged him afterwards not to sue. Musk lawyers have yet to comment because they're still checking to see if it's legal to sue a cow.
Shots fired.
Just a legal question. I don't know why it's so upsetting. I don't make the rules in this country.
What made this moment brutal wasn't yelling or chaos, it was precision. Greg and Tyrus barely raised their voices. They didn't need to. Their jokes landed clean, cold, and devastating. Joy wasn't shouted down, she was dismantled piece by piece. And the harshest part. She had no real defense. It felt like watching someone lose a fight they didn't realize had already started. By the end, the confidence she once sat on looked shaky at best.
Feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they...
Greg Gutfeld went into full takedown mode, doing what he does best, calling out over-the-top TV personalities without ever saying a name. He painted a picture of daytime hosts floating through life, sipping wine, pretending they understand real-world problems like gas prices or grocery bills. The description fit a little too perfectly. Every punchline chipped away at that polished TV persona, slicing through it with effortless precision.
Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he? Well, really, who is he?
I don't watch the show.
He has a show.
I don't watch the
never
show.
heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with me.
No. Next, Joy's gonna say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day.
Then Tyrus stepped in with that trademark calm. No yelling, no theatrics, just icy composure. While Joy kept performing for the applause, Tyrus delivered looks and one-liners that quietly said, "Are we really buying this?" He never mentioned her by name, but everyone knew exactly who he meant. It turned into a smooth, ruthless takedown where Joy became the punchline in a conversation she didn't even know she was part of.
This is what elitists do who can't, like, if you don't know who someone is, how did you know to automatically hate him? Like, I mean, that's how fake and full of she is. Gutfeld, never heard of him. Don't like him. Why? Because why? That's why I just turned to one of my kids. Because why?
Yeah.
Because I don't know who he is. Never heard of him at all in my entire life. But why? Because I don't know. Because they are the last TV show to talk about high turnover. We've been rolling 3 steady for a long time.
Yeah.
We don't take breaks in the commercial to get away from each other. Well, that's what the drinking's for.
Yes.
Meghan McCain, how'd that go?
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, or any of these previous fellow employees? Because one of the things they said was that no one walks away from money. Right?
Yeah.
So they got people running.
This is where Greg's timing really showed why he's so effective. No arguments. No raised voice. Just a confident chuckle and perfectly placed expressions that unraveled years of carefully maintained image. The comedy didn't overpower, it exposed. And the funniest part. Joy still seemed convinced she was winning, like a captain smiling proudly as the ship quietly sank beneath her. Greg and Tyrus didn't rush in, they just stood back and let reality do the work.
The problem is that you have to go after the racist people, and be the CEO goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people, and I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day, that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Tyrus proves you don't need volume to dominate a moment. He sits there calm, almost motionless, and somehow that silence speaks louder than a full monologue. While Joy delivers long speeches packed with drama, all Tyrus has to do is raise an eyebrow. Suddenly, the disconnect becomes obvious. The applause Joy leans on feels automatic, more habit than excitement, especially when compared to the blunt, grounded humor Greg and Tyrus bring that actually lands.
It's about the view. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. You know, it's like, it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much, we were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're...
At one point, Tyrus gave that look, the kind that silently asks, "Do you hear yourself right now?" Then he stepped back and let her words collapse under their own weight. No arguing. No shouting. Just quiet truth. Joy thrives on loud outrage, and that calm exposure completely disarmed her. Meanwhile, Greg danced through the chaos with rapid-fire jokes that made her entire routine look even more over the top. What they revealed wasn't Joy the person. It was the performance she's been running for years.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for her asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when oh no, nothing really comes to mind, I was like, cha-ching. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last. They called him Hitler. They call these things. America rejected them, and instead of coming back and saying we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see.
It felt like watching someone reveal the emperor had no clothes without ever saying a name. Everyone instantly knew who was exposed. Tyrus didn't even need a punchline. His silence hit harder than any joke, draining the confidence right out of the room. And the irony. Greg and Tyrus didn't even need to step onto her stage. That show stopped feeling like a real conversation a long time ago. They don't rely on cue cards or forced applause, just plain talk that turns uncomfortable truths into comedy gold.
Her loves running her mouth. She should, but she should. It's the only running she does. Emily! So what did you make of this? VVAC is what she called him. I don't care if you disagree or agree with him. That dude is not dumb.
No, and that is what was so ridiculous. Everything that comes out of her mouth is ridiculous, but for her to make that kind of point about someone that we all know, that regardless how you feel about his politics or him running, that he is undeniably brilliant, is...
Meanwhile, The View keeps clapping for itself like it's delivering profound wisdom. Greg and Tyrus, on the other hand, deliver humor that actually connects. One side preaches and scolds. The other makes people laugh until the stress disappears. When audiences get tired of being talked down to, they choose laughter every time. Joy was waiting for a dramatic debate, while Greg and Tyrus were already roasting her from miles away, calm, quiet, and devastatingly effective.
Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I find my friends with a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all.
Here's the part that really stings. Joy showed up ready for a loud, explosive confrontation. Split screens, shouting, and drama. Instead, she got roasted without ever being the main character. Imagine spending years trying to provoke outrage, only to realize no one cares enough to argue anymore. The routine feels tired. The punchlines don't land. The audience has already moved on. People don't want recycled outrage, they want sharp wit and real humor. And that's exactly why Greg and Tyrus keep winning.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
The reality is younger audiences are done sitting through long lectures from wealthy TV hosts pretending to be relatable. They're over fake applause and staged outrage. That's why they're tuning into Greg and Tyrus, watching them turn all that noise into sharp, hilarious moments, while Joy keeps yelling like nothing has changed. The roast already happened without her. The throne is gone, replaced with a shaky stool surrounded by old jokes and forced laughs. If you want real humor, real reactions, and no scripted nonsense, hit subscribe and stay where the truth actually hits.